Hi everyone, it's Karen and I'm back with my first design team project for 2024 for AngeldreamCraftsKim on Etsy. And I will leave links to her shop and the Facebook group and her Instagram, so you can, with one easy click, you can go to the store and do some shopping, or go and join the Facebook page where you'll get heads up on new things going in the store, and also inspiration from projects that people have made, and you can post pictures of your own using products from AngeldreamCraftsKim and the Instagram account. So again, inspiration and a heads up on new items that go in the store. Kim's store sells out of items very, very quickly. So these two things, signing up for the Facebook group and the Instagram account, could be very beneficial if you like to know when things are going in the shop. And don't forget to check out the designers, who I have links in the description box below as well, because they are creating beautiful and inspirational projects with just all the lovely things from AngeldreamCraftsKim. So what I created first was I decorated the box that Kim had sent our design team packages in. And I just was really excited to decorate the box. I love decorating boxes, and I had the lovely material that she had sent and so many goodies in the box that I just wanted to get them onto the box very first before I went ahead and did any other projects. So that's what I jumped in and did right away. So I created again one of the little paper dresses, and I did do a tutorial, and it's just a couple of videos back. It's a very recent one where I show you how I fold these little dresses from paper. So I folded one with similar colors into the fabric that Kim had sent. This is that beautiful rose fabric. I actually have used every single scrap of it. I have none that I can show you because I used it in little bits in other projects already as well. This is what you can see of it. I also created a beautiful pleated ruffle that goes all the way around the edge of the box, and I hand stitched it and then hand stitched on the pearls on the side as well. And then I took laces and trims and the doilies, and I created flowers and put lace bits on the top. What I have here is just a little bit of the netted tulle, and I can't remember if this one was in my design team package or if it was one from a previous package, but any of her beautiful netted tools will work. And I just gathered it. So this is a little piece of what's left of that one. And all I did was just gather it a little bit like this and make a little poof. And then I tucked that in behind this beautiful pink rolled rose. The pink rolled rose is from the pink satin that was in my design team package. And that satin, again, I've used every drop of it. I've used up everything I had left to make more rolled roses because they turned out so, so pretty. This is another one a little bit smaller than this one. And so that ribbon is beautiful. You fold it in half and do your rolled rose, and it turns out gorgeous. Then I took the flower that was in my design team package, the one that was attached to this beautiful beaded bow. I took it apart and I made two separate flowers out of it. So I layered it with the actual flower, and then a layer of the pink heart tulle, and then another couple layers of the flower for this one, and then a little bit of the doily. Actually, that's one of the doily spiders that was in my design team package, and then one of her bling. And on this one, I did it very similar. I did a more rounded petal for inserted in between. This one I did more of the square shaped petal and added that in to the layers, and then again added, this is the center of one of the doilies, not a spider, and again one of her bling. I am going to do a separate tutorial showing you how I made the flowers with the doily and what you can do with a doily and how you create these different pieces. This little poof at the bottom here too is created with one of the doilies that she sent, and then that's another one of the spiders in the center of this flower, and again more of her netted lace, more tulle here, another flower here made with tulle for the bottom gathered, and then a little piece of white doily that I had in my stash, and then more of the beigey doily that she had sent me in my design team package. Another one here created with one of the little spiders and little white rolled rose that she sent, And this one up here created with a little bit of white spider from my stash, a little piece of the doily, and I'll show you how I did this one. This is sort of not the center of the doily, but the second row of stitches, and how I created this, and then a rolled rose in the center of that one. And then there's two other pink rolled roses on here made with the satin ribbon. And then tucked in the sides here are some flowers that I created with this trim. And I love this trim. I had it in white last year, and I love the pink. And I was just going to show you really quickly how I made these little flowers out of this trim. You can cut the little flowers out and use them, of course, but if you want a flower with a bit of dimension, you can cut this one out here, and I'll just do that quickly. So just cutting into the netting and then going around the edge of it and fussy cutting. Basically, you're fussy cutting your lace, and let's go around here quickly and get this out of here. I use every bit of this lace, so I don't like to cut even into anything. And so for this one, what you do is you cut up the center of this little thing, and then you just roll it on itself. And you roll it up as tight as you want it. So if you roll it up a lot, you'll get a little cone-shaped flower like this. And that's what I did on the back here. I did one, but on this one, I didn't roll it up as much. I left it, I think I only rolled it to the first one, left it more open like this, but then tucked it in there. And of course, this all stands up here. I added a little one of the 3 leaves from the trim as well, 3 of those little leaves, and then also a rolled rose in the center. And so I wanted to put another couple in the top here to make this lace stand up more, to stay standing up. So what you do is you take your flower that you had, and I'm going to put glue on a couple of those petals, and I'm going to bring this one right over to there so that this makes a real cone-shaped flower. Glue stuck on me. So there we are. And then I'm going to tuck that into there, and I'll just tip it up so I can show you. See, and I tuck it in there, and then that forces that lace to sit up the way I want it to. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the end of there and tuck that in there. And you just want to hold it until the glue sets, because otherwise it can move on you. I have my rolled roses here. I used the rolled rose, but I didn't keep the green on it. I just going to quickly cut that little bit of green off. It just leaves the rolled rose without the green, and then a little dot of glue in the center of that little cone flower and pop it in there, and there it is. So that's that one done. And then I wanted to do another one like this, which is 5 little petals with the pearl in the center. So I'm going to just tuck another one in here, right in here, so that there's those 2 there. And the other reason I do that is so that when you're looking at this box, no matter what side of it you're looking at, you're going to see something pretty. And I purposely put that pretty bow that I detached from that flower, I stuck it on the side here and let these little pieces drip over the side because I just thought it looked really pretty. And I added, of course, one of her gorgeous pink and rhinestone heart blings in the center of that flower. I think I forgot to mention that. And then on the dress, I added a couple pieces of this same trim that I'm working with now. And then one of the heart trim pieces at the top with one of her beautiful heart blings in the center. It all just seemed to flow really nicely together. So let me show you how to make the little pink one here. So that one is made by taking 6 of these little loopy things here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I see I'm missing one of them. The little sequin is missing off of it, but that's okay. They do sometimes come detached and fall off. I wanted 5, so in order to get the petals to spread out, you do need to cut in between each of the little loops, but don't cut right through. Just cut down to the end of that little loop that comes around the bottom there. You just want to cut down to there so that you get some ability of this to spread open when you're folding it. So you take 6 so that you can overlap one. And what I'm going to do is steal that little sequin off the end there, put it somewhere where I can't lose it, pop my glue on there, bring this around and put it on top. So it goes directly on top of that one. And now you have your 5 petals. And then I can put that little sequin back here. Yes, it's very small, probably going to burn your hands, but my fingers don't seem to bother with the glue anymore. So wait till it cools a bit and then put it on, or use some Fabri-Tac, something that's not going to burn your hand. Now with these, I put a little piece of lace in behind the back so that they weren't so open, and I just trim off some of the netting. And a little bit here. And a little tiny piece of like just netted lace, something. And I usually keep little pieces of it handy here. Let me just look and see if I have anything that's the right size. I don't think so. So I'm going to use a little piece of this. So just a little piece of netted lace, and I'm just going to put that in behind to give it a little bit more stability, and also just to finish it off a little bit, because otherwise when you go to put it down, it might, it might not look that great if there's a great big hole in the center, but if there's the mesh in behind. And this little piece of lace, of course, was a little bit bigger than I needed, so I'm just going to cut off that tiny bit of excess. And there you go. Now you have your little flower. And I'm just going to put that in here. And I use my little pink finger, because what happens is if you use this to push it in with, it helps to push up the petals as well. So it looks pretty that way too. And then it gives you a little spot to put your pearl right in there. I went and got the pearls, and I'm going to just pop one in the center of there. And if you're using pearls like this with holes, everybody knows this, but I'll tell you anyway. If you hold it in your hands with the holes on either side that you're holding on to, and then pop it in, you won't get the holes sticking right at the front here. They'll go side to side, and then it looks nicer. And this one, I'm just gonna put a little bit more glue behind it, because the doily, and I'll just press down on the pearl, because the doily's moving quite a bit there. And I also just took some larger pearls in white and in pink and added them in here and there, just for a little added sparkle, a little added surprise. So there's the top of the box now here where I added those flowers. There's the 2 pink ones here. There's a lovely piece of that doily that Kim sent. I made 2 little puffy things out of it. Look, they kind of look like petals almost coming out from underneath from another flower, let's say, but they're really not. They're just a couple of pieces of it. And that's something easy to do too, that you give that illusion that there's more flowers, but it's really just pieces that are looking more like petals. And then I put one of the rounder ones in there, one of the cone-shaped ones. And that makes this netted lace sit up nicely. It looks pretty when you look in. You can still see that lovely doily and the flowers, but it just looks more finished. And then on the sides of the box, I used the same paper as I used to make the dress, which is just, it's a no-name brand of paper. And then I used another netted lace of Kim's that was in my design team package, and I cut this netted lace out to create this edging here. And you'll have to excuse, that is my son's dog barking in the background there. I don't know what that's about. I'm desperate to try and get this video finished, so I hope you'll excuse that, and hopefully he'll stop soon. And this lace is quite wide, and I thought I had kept a piece out here, but I didn't. I think I had a tiny piece left. What you do is you cut along the edge of the lace, fussy cut it, and then you get this type of shape to it. There's about an inch of the lace that's been cut off. And by fussy cutting around this lower part of the lace, you get the solid piece here, and then you get the shape of all these other flowers going around. And I put that around the whole bottom of the box. And then on the very bottom of the box, I put the other part of it. So this is the other piece of that lace. And I just cut it and added that all around the edge of the box. It's again paper on the bottom that I have used matte medium to apply, and this one actually has a bit of a ripped seam down the center in order to create the shape that I needed, because the papers also weren't very big that I was using. And I'd use a torn because I find it blends better. And then I used 3 large flat back pearls that I had in my stash to create the feet on this box. I love putting feet of some kind on a box. Just finishes it off so nicely. I love that lace, that netted lace. Any of the netted laces from Kim's shop, you can cut them so nicely. This one in particular, which was in my design team package, is really easy to cut. You can cut it in these 2 separate pieces, so you get one that looks like this, and then you can cut this one, and you could leave the netting all in between here and it would be solid, but I chose to fussy cut down and around these flowers so that it gave more of this look, which I like. And then inside the box, I just made a few pieces from the fabric that Kim had sent, and the Valentine one, and wanted to put them on my tiered tray that I am creating. So I will just take those pieces out quickly, and I also altered the butterflies. There is the inside of the box. I used the fabric to line the whole inside of the box. I lined the bottom with the fabric, and I attached it onto a pink piece of cardstock. So there's a slight pink hue comes through. And on the sides, I used 2 pieces of, I think it's about 2.5 inch wide, and I just tore them, and then with the matte medium, I applied them inside the box. If you have never used matte medium to Mod Podge with fabric or paper, I have never used it before. I used it now, and I will never go back to using anything else. Got a matte medium, which is quite thick, and I used a paintbrush and I painted it on, and then I applied the fabric, and the fabric went on just smooth with not a wrinkle, not anything. The paper was the same. It went on. It leaves a nice finish on it, and it's totally matte. There is no gloss whatsoever. Put it on Amazon. If I can remember, I'll put a link in the description box to the one that I used. I think it's by Liquitex. But if you're in the States, just look it up in Amazon. It's a great product. It adheres your fabric and your papers on just beautifully. And then on the inside, to finish off, I used the pleated white tulle and pearl trim all around the base of the box there to finish that off. And I think it just looks so pretty. And then the few ephemera pieces I made, I took that beautiful Valentine fabric, and I made, this is a tag that I made, and I used the pink tulle heart fabric in behind it, one of the little heart trims. I just did some stitching on here, and I stitched along here, and then I stitched on some beads, and then I just added it to the card, and that's going to go on my tiered tray. I took the little angel from the fabric, I fussy cut her out. I put her on a layered up couple pieces of cardstock with a piece of netted tulle from Kim's shop. I added some stickles to her wings. I put some French knots in her hair in the form of little flowers and leaves. And I stitched one of the little hearts that was on the fabric and added that separately to here. And then I just stitched the My Valentine, which also was part of the fabric, but not on with the little angel. And I stitched that and added that, stitched it on here as well. And I created this little journaling card. I took a beautiful piece from that fabric as well that looked like a little letter, and I did some stitching all along the edges of what would be the envelope. I stitched her wings in some shiny thread and added some stickles, and then I stitched all the roses in the background with satin stitch in 3 different colors of reds and burgundy colors. On this particular fabric, it looked like there was a wax seal in the fabric. I did my own wax seal that says love on it, and I added that myself. And that's just backed again on some cardstock, and that again is going to go on my tiered tray. Here is a smaller one. This is one of the, just because the way you cut the fabric up, of course, and the way it's sent to me, some of these pieces are cut. So I just made small little cards out of them. And I added a little heart on this one. That one's actually from my stash. This is a piece of that beautiful pink trim from Kim's shop, a little pink bow, and a little piece of the swirly trim from here, just in sort of on a collar. I just frayed the material out and then added that. This is one of her beautiful little hearts that she sent, and I stitched it all onto this piece of a card that I had saved. It's got flowers and hearts in the background. Obviously was from a previous Valentine, but had it in my stash. So I stitched that all on there, and then I put one of her little pretty little crystally blings in the pink in there. And you can see all the stitching on the back of that one. I didn't try and hide it. And that will be for my tray as well. There's another one of those little girls, and this one I put a little piece of netted lace from Kim's shop, a little heart cut out of the rose fabric, one of her little blings. I stitched with straight stitches and some beads along the side, and then straight stitches here. And again, I just folded that one over, and there's a piece of card inside, so it will stand up nicely on my tiered tray. This one I just created a little envelope and put some lace on it, and added this little piece from the fabric. It said "To My Valentine," and there was a heart, so I stitched around the heart with some beads and added one of her little crystally pieces in the center. And then I and I made a little pillow out of the tiny piece of fabric that I had left. I made a little heart stuffy pillow, little tiny little thing, but it turned out really cute. It's all hand stitched around the edge, and it's that beautiful rose fabric that the box is made out of. Added one of her little blings to it, and so that turned out really cute. And then I altered the butterflies. So this one, I took some of the netted trim, I added it in the corners, and some of the pink trim in these corners, and some flat back pearls from my stash, more of that pink trim in the center, and one of her blings. And I took off the black antenna that they had, and I added in little pearls. And then this one, again, I used that beautiful pink trim that I've been using, and I added a couple pieces in the bottom, a little bit of florals and a little bit of the scrolly bits. I just love that part of that lace. This is the little scrolls that are on here. You just can cut every single thing separate from that lace. It's so nice. And then this is a piece, of course, the same as what I made one of the flowers out of. That's the edging here. And again, took the black antenna off and put a couple of pearly ones on instead. So those are all little pieces that I'm going to be putting on my tiered tray. And when it's finished, I will put up a picture of the tiered tray as well, because it will have a lot of things on it that are from Kim's shop. So there is that gorgeous box, and I promise I will come back and show you how to do some doily flowers and how I did these different pieces made with these beautiful doilies that she sent. I will do that in another video, but I just wanted to get this one done and show you this beautiful box. So I hope you'll go by the shop and pick up some goodies for yourself and create something fun, and check out the designers, because you will get lots of inspiration from them as well. And I will talk to you all soon. Bye for now.